Deadliest crash in Metrolink history happened 1 year ago tomorrow in Glendale. Lawyers for the victims say that part of the blame lies in the way that some Metrolink trains operate. Phil Schuman is live at the crash scene with a special report. Phil?
That's right, John. The train that derailed on that track a year ago tomorrow is being pushed from behind by a locomotive, a practice that Metrolink says is common and perfectly safe. But now it's come under fire. Just past week, a special report by a panel that investigated the disaster, led by Glendale Assemblyman Dario Former, concluded that the push method was dangerous, should be phased out. Now, passengers who survived that disaster couldn't agree more.
We were sliding, and then there was this terrific bang. A lot of people were hurt. And I couldn't move. I couldn't get out. And the fire, I could see the flames coming up.
January 26, 2005. Dave Christensen was in the front cab car when it collided with an SUV left on the tracks, hit a parked train, derailed, hit another oncoming train.
I thought I was pretty lucky.
Lucky?
Very lucky.
To make it out alive?
Yes.
Because a lot of people didn't.
I know. I watched two of them die that I was sitting next to outside.
11 died, 180 injured. Now, a year later, the inevitable lawsuits are focusing not so much on the cause of the crash. The man who left his SUV on the tracks awaits trial for that. Instead, the suits will argue over the cause of the injuries and death, examining the fact that the train was being pushed from behind by a 57-ton locomotive, the much lighter cab car in front taking the brunt of the impact.
Push a train, you expose everyone in the cab car, which is the forward-leading car, to serious injury or death if an object is struck on the track.
Attorney Jerry Ringler will argue that it's just common sense that pushing a train's more dangerous than pulling it if there's a collision.
If you total up all of the deaths in the Metrolink history that have occurred as a result of the train being pushed, it is 11. If you total up all of the deaths that have occurred as a result of the train being pulled, it is 0.
Ringler took a deposition in another similar case against Metrolink in which rail officials admitted that when it came to adopting the push-pull method, Metrolink did no safety tests of its own. Question, do you recall any such study? Metrolink, I don't. Question, so Metrolink took no risk assessment? Metrolink, apparently.
It's a method that's been proven to be safe over and over through millions and millions of miles and millions of passengers throughout the world for many years.
Metrolink's Francisco Oaxaca acknowledges the agency did no independent tests, but points to a 2005 study by the Federal Railroad Administration which says in part, quote, a comparison between derailments occurring in the push mode and the pull mode indicates that such a difference is not statistically significant. So Metrolink says there's no statistical difference in safety when it comes to pulling trains versus pushing them. But they have done something different. Take a look at this. This is the front section of the cab car, the front car where Dave Christensen and the others who died that day were sitting. You'll notice that it's blocked off. No more passengers allowed. So if everything's so safe, why is that?
We want to make sure that there is no question in our minds about the safety of our passengers.
Metrolink admits blocking off these front seats might send a mixed message.
Being extra cautious.
There's no other consideration in our mind as to what public perception might be or anything else. We are doing what we believe is the safest for our passengers. And the trains that operate in push mode are just as safe as the trains that operate in pull mode.
Still, the agency acknowledges it's in the process of replacing all of its front cab cars with newer, shock-absorbing, stronger cars built with what's called crash energy management. As for Dave Christensen, he doesn't have to take the train anymore. His employer transferred him closer to home. He and his wife Judy, with a lot of help from their little friend Cha-Cha, continue to work on his recovery.
It just breaks my heart that they're not pulling these trains. And something's got to be done about it. I don't want to see anybody else go through what we've gone through.
I haven't sworn off trains, but I'm sure wouldn't be in the front one. And because the car that I was in, 8 people died.
That suspect, Juan Alvarez, remains in county jail without bail, awaiting trial on 11 counts of murder. He has a hearing set in March. Now, that is the criminal side. The civil lawsuits will continue, likely no matter what happens to Alvarez, and that issue of push versus pull will no doubt be debated. But tomorrow morning, train 100 will be pushed southbound towards downtown Los Angeles on schedule. I'm Phil Schuman reporting live in Glendale. John, Christine, back to you.